Welcome back here to Taicang, China, as we look to get into our second semifinal. I am Stephen Craig, joined here by Jonathan X Famous X Holland.
Yes, sir.
And not necessarily as exciting as we had hoped for the closeout of our first semifinal. Excuse me.
It seems that if there's going to be a tight match and then followed up by, or if there's going to be a blowout, it's usually started out close and then it ends in a blowout. And that was on the best of ones, you know what I mean? Just like for Macta versus TGF, it started out really close. Looked like it was going to be a fun game to watch and just basically ended in a blowout. I mean, same for the best of three.
Yeah, right. The first one, it almost initially started to look like map one was just going to go cleanly to TGF, and then it ended up being a real battle down the stretch. But then Port, it never seemed like TGF wasn't in control. They drop around here or there, but I mean, they just seemed to cruise through Port.
Yeah, it was never really it never even really looked like there was a chance Boss was going to take Port. That's just for sure.
And you gotta say, man, that performance that Shobi put forth in that first semifinal was
MVP
man
worthy.
mode.
MVP worthy.
Full on man mode. Not that I think it was almost like he just was out there trying to prove something, because it's not like the other members of his team weren't performing. It was just that he would, before the round even really got started, it was just like, oh, by the way, also you're down 3 because Shobi just got behind your team. So good luck with that. And it didn't really pan out for Boss as you would expect,
Yeah, he was. Shobi was actively searching for frags. He definitely looked like he had a chip on his shoulder, or maybe something to prove or something like that. But man, yeah, he was actively out there searching frags, flanking behind, doing all the dirty work there, and it really paid off for him.
Yeah. That being said, let's go ahead and move forward and start looking at our next semifinal here between SV and Macta, which will be. It's scary, right? It could be a really nice series, or it could be eerily similar, if not worse, than our first one.
Yeah, I mean, they're facing up against the Titans of SV. I would say Macta right now maybe looked a little bit stronger. Because TGF ended kind of the same way for Boss, but they looked a little bit stronger than Boss, I would say, Macta.
Yeah.
So maybe they have a bit more of a chance than Boss would against SV.
Yeah, I think if I were to predict a best of 3 here between Macta and Boss, I think I would definitely give it pretty heavily in favor of Macta. Kind of the way that their group stage performances went. Even though they ended with the same record, Macta seemed to be really clean in their wins, whereas Boss, they were all dogfights.
Oh, for sure. And add on to that they've got revenge. And he can pop off at any time, and he's been known to. There's not a lot of players on Boss that were well known for just absolutely popping off and carrying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's a little bit of the X factor here for me. If he can really pop off against SV, they got a real chance.
There it is, the team you just called out, SV, on your screen. The true monsters, the insane team that has been put together here with Emza and WQ, N9, 18, and Anka. I mean, that is a scary roster to say the least before you even realize how well they play together.
1.64.
I imagine we'll see without a single MVP.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's looking like a lot of them are going to go to 18 or N9, which, I mean, if you had to pick 2 players, everybody's been performing, but you'd have to put it on. Well, there you go, one MVP for
comes in.
Maja, and 0.92. We've seen, maybe not fragging as hard as he has before, but yeah, we're looking at 1.85.
The impressive 1.6 from Anka earlier, and then we go to 1.85 from him.
53 headshots, 37 headshots, 53 kills. It's just what do you do at that point?
It's like a 75% headshot rate or so.
I mean, Anka, he looked a little bit rough, very similar to Shobi, but not quite to the explosive extent that it was, where Anka looked maybe a little bit shaky very early on, but that has really come into his own down the stretch of this tournament. And 18 has played the things that we just complimented Shobi for are the things that 18 has been doing so well, not just here, but in the CFPL itself. With that history of just, especially for me on sub base, he's a terrifying player.
For sure. And speaking of 18, the way he's been working with N9, that's really a big part of it. Not only has he been doing, because Shobi wasn't really working with a teammate as much, you know what I mean?
We saw them try it a little bit, but nowhere near to the extent that they do.
And not near as effective as N9 and 18. But yeah, 18 has definitely been in a positional, how can I say it? His awareness and the way he flanks and things like that does remind you of Shobi for sure. But the way he's worked with N9, more important to me.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do when you see those two players come around the corner at you? Equally terrifying, and immediate pressure put on you.
Yeah.
As N9 not going to miss more than one shot, so you got to do the same.
Same for 18.
ZDD, Cart, Aldrin, Revenge, and ZYK going to round out the lineup here for this Macta squad, which has looked so good compared to their recent international performances. And I know you have a lot to say about this man on your screen right here.
Oh, man. He has been popping off. He's the dual king to me. And I'm looking to him. Okay, key matchup here. I'll just mention this real quick. Imzen, Revenge, obviously. N9, Aldrin for me. If anybody's going to shut down N9, it has to be Aldrin. And ZDD, look at that KD.
As well as an MVP there to his name.
Sure. He's been showing up. He's been, the positional things that we've been talking about 18 and Shobi doing. He's been doing that for them. ZDD, right place, right time. Not necessarily just out-aiming everybody. Great aim, of course, but that's been Aldrin I've seen doing that.
That's a very good point.
So I'm looking for Aldrin to stop N9. And ZDD, I'm looking for him to make some great plays.
Yeah, we've really seen quite a few really impressive lurkers in this tournament, especially within these top, I would call the top three teams. Boss maybe not having that same, you could maybe point at FatCon a little bit. We saw a great lurking play for him on port in their loss there. But really, if you want to point out some lurking players, you look at these three teams, ZDD, 18, and Shobi that are just really having a field day right now.
For sure. And, Boss, I think the reason why that might be the issue for them is because they have such a stark contrast in style. Maybe not a stark contrast. They just have a different style. They have a more defensive style. At the beginning of the tournament, we were saying that the Vietnamese might be a super aggressive team, and yeah, they were, but they also, they were very good defensively.
I think a very expected double Mexico ban.
Okay.
Interesting. So we will have a pool of 4 to pick from here, which will leave Macta picking Black Widow, SV picking Port, and then finishing off on Ankara.
Not too surprising there that Pacific Macta banned Mexico. Yeah, they are actually pretty good at it, but they are very similar to a Chinese team in the way they play. So I can see them not wanting to play Mexico. They want to get the long-range battles.
Also very unsurprising that it's SV who picks Port, as they are monsters, possibly the best port in the world. Let's be honest, it's the best port in the world. We'll see what Macta can do to try and jump out to an early lead here against SV, as it's looking like they might need it. And even with how good Macta has looked, it's certainly a David versus Goliath matchup as we jump in here. And I think it's great in situations like that to take to the offense first, to try and take it to this SV lineup and really show that you can compete, so that they have to really start respecting your play style and just generally respecting your presence more on the map. I don't know. What is your take on that kind of situation?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I also just want to point out real quick, ZDD already in a great position. We were talking about his positional awareness, and here he is. He heard them taking long A, and what does he do? He immediately solo pushes up Cat. And a good thing he didn't just run out mid, because SV, they're so confident in their individual play, they only sent 2 to long A, and they were actually watching mid. So great positional awareness by him.
Aldrin going to get tagged slightly there by the grenade, but nothing too much to sneeze at as far as damage so far in the early rounds. Pretty slow standard spread out here from Macta. Having pressure, both teams having pressure on different points of the map here early. 18 so scary to be the man there, way out there, long A, as that's going to open him up for a great, those great roams that we see so much from him later on in the round. And it's actually going to be Emzen going to win the early duel there with revenge, and that's going to be something to look forward to as the entry here comes for Macta, and they're going to get wiped out completely by Double Q with a triple kill, finishing it off with that deagle.
Clean hold. Exactly what you expect from SV. You have to be a little bit more prepared than that. You got to hit more shots than that. You got to be more together than that. And that's just one thing they weren't. Now, Emzen getting caught out a little bit here. He's 1 HP, and he's going to get away. And actually, a trade going to go right back. Oh, that was actually at A-Long, though, by 18, so good job by him.
Yeah, 18's going to continue to take this A-Long pressure for me until they find a way to stop him, because the threat of him roaming out from that position, and it does seem like Macta have an idea that could be a big issue as they've come in force to try and force him off of that position. And well done by 18 to read that out. And they do go and scoop up the bomb, and we might actually see a fairly early A play here, which could go really well, as maybe 18 not reading that play as well as I might have thought, and A almost completely open here. Although N9 going to have some good information here. He might even have heard Aldrin come across. But Aldrin definitely having an idea that this is a possible location for N9 to be hiding. We'll see. Oh no, ZDD is going to walk straight into the back of him. Oh, great reflexes there by Aldrin to turn it back around. But kills coming in. Whoa!
Wow. 2 back-to-back rounds were 4 alive for the defense here. Wow. Just great holds. Wow.
And both times, it's just been immediate. Close in by SV. Everybody hitting their shots. And there's not even time to break down what's happening as they just completely get wiped off the board. And that's a huge early pick there. As both N9 and 18 have really been pushing into aggressive positions out of that A side. N9 been playing that cat area, and 18 again, as you see, taking so much control here of long A. He's even around the corner and looking way deep, looking maybe even to come around towards spawn. He's going to play it a little bit slow here, though, as not much information to be had yet, but it's going to put him in such a good location too. Again, I keep waiting for him to come on these roams from that location.
And as soon as he hears them going up cat here, as soon as he hears any noise, he's going to have a great flank. If he goes for it, he should be hearing them anytime soon. They are making no noise right now, but it could be a great flank to watch out for.
It should be right now, right? With the shot there from Emzen, he did call it out, and immediate movement did come from him, but he does actually back off, and it does seem like things are actually going to stagnate here in the mid, and this could be... It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out, as both teams are going to have to make a read here on what exactly is happening, as Macta is going to go and start to back out and maybe reset a little bit with 1 minute left on the clock. And Hart and Double Q are going to see each other, and it's actually 18 who's going to pick one off onto ZDD, continuing to assert his dominance here on that long A area. And the bomb's going to come with Aldrin, and 18 going to have to bring some kind of magic, but it is Aldrin, that man to keep your eye on here. See if he can't help his team get back into this, as Emzen missing that shot, but hitting another, and he might be turning it on here a little bit after that All-Stars performance we saw from him. And all of a sudden, we're into that 1v1, and it's ZYK going to pick up a huge clutch.
Absolutely huge. Emzen, though, absolutely coming out. All the shots just hitting, it seems like. Definitely a different Emzen than we saw on the group stage, and that is a scary thing.
It certainly is. If this guy gets going, he can, although he's not known as one of those mechanical greats, it's almost...
Again?
Yeah, it's almost because he's so good at the other aspects of the game that you almost overlook his mechanical skill.
For sure, even though it is great.
And as we look at maybe some of the kills here on the board, it's actually Double Q and Emzen with 5 apiece to their names. And a little bit, I'm not sure how you feel about this, but the 0-4 cart is kind of an issue here, especially as he's gone down early again in this round.
That is for sure. It's bad to have your leader down, especially with the rule where you can't talk really after you're dead.
Dead men tell no tales.
Yeah, that's actually a rule here at CF lands in general. And so that leaves them with leaderless, and let's see how they can deal with this.
That being said, they do have that ZYK to fall back, or ZDD to fall back onto as their former shot caller. And maybe that's something we'll have to see moving forward as teams. We talked about this with Boss a little bit, where maybe you have those double leadership positions for these LAN events where you have to have leadership from multiple places, so that if you lose that one man, you're not just without direction. And that's something very true for SV. You look at the likes of WQ and 18, who could easily step into that shot calling role for them, and N9 going to be looking to try and fight his way out of this position. He's got MZ closing in to help relieve some of that pressure, but it's actually Macta who's gotten in behind here, and a great positional play here from Macta is going to get them onto the site, but WQ is on the hunt, and he's got a great position. He's already picked up Anka, picking up another, and it's a 2-on-2 Anka on such
what a shot
HP.
by WQ. Important shot, too. Now we're in a 1v2, but it could be a 1v1 here really quick if ZYK can pick off Anka, and there he goes, and back on. They didn't know where he was. They didn't bother checking the position, and that was hugely important. It's 1v2.
2 in a row.
2 in a row by him, yeah, exactly.
Back to back.
And what is even more important there is that the bomb was planted for him. Why were they not checking his spot? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's a little strange to not
to see SV making these kind of mistakes.
Right, to not check that box. You would think that it'd be a pretty good place to, spray through on your way through, especially if you have that man advantage. You don't have to worry about them necessarily knowing the position of your players if you give him too many things to look at, right? So use that to your advantage. Maybe spray down a location like that has the penetratable boxes, as opposed to the point itself where there's, the cart.
Yeah.
Which cannot be sprayed through, as I'm sure everybody knows. And Revenge. A huge, important kill
First time. Emzen was 2-0 on him on that, and now it's down to 2-1.
Yeah, and it's definitely been ZYK early on here, surprisingly, the man to keep your eyes on. He's picked up, you have to call him, one of those clutch players, big time playmaker, because we've seen so many good, big, important plays from him. And already 2 in this early round, as we do see them charging the box room, and Aldrin going to pick up a big one there. But WQ has the op in his hands. He must have, I believe he picked that up off the body of Emzen. And another one for him. And he's really trying to fight his way back into this. But they have him surrounded. And N9 a bit far off. They need to do something about this soon, though, as N9 could throw a wrench into their plans. But time's starting to run low, and WQ does get closed down on there. And It's actually N9.
It was actually Cart right there that was hugely vital in them closing out that round. That little flank he had right there to keep them busy was hugely important. Yeah, he didn't pick up both kills. He picked up one, but he basically secured both kills. There we go. Cart stepping up.
ZYK picking up another one in that round, going to put him on 7 now. And Macta out to the first lead, putting 3 rounds in a row together. SV going to need to do something here to try and change up the look on defense, and they do it immediately. A position that you complimented them so well on previously. And actually, it's going to be falling back a little bit, but still holding such control in WQ. He's having a great performance here early on. 10 kills already to his name. And if he can pick up a few more here and try and kill his team through this round and stop the bleeding, and there's another one for him. And back to what we saw very early, where it's just clean rounds here from
11.
SV.
11 kills there by him. That's crazy. 6 rounds in as well. Almost 2 kills per round for him. I like this strategy SV is coming out with. They're just basically reacting. They're playing the same way they do on T side. They're just reacting to everything that Pacific Macta is giving them. Now they're only 3-3 right now, which is a huge credit to Macta. But at the same time, because SV is playing well,
you have to say the one thing we haven't mentioned, and it's because it's been very unnoticeable. Well, he puts a headshot on the board, literally, as I say it about him, was that Anka really hasn't found much in this game yet. It's been a lot of the other team are helping him out and picking up kills, as well as N9 maybe not finding too much in it either. But Emzen really getting going here, and that's not something we've been saying much this tournament. So, and like you alluded to, man, that's a scary thought if Emzen's getting going and SV really starts firing on all cylinders.
I'll say this: 3 out of the 4 rounds they've won, they've had 4 players alive.
Yeah.
And it's just been great defensive hold. It's not been them just going out there and huge pick there, but it's not them just aggressively pushing out there and getting early picks and just taking the aggression to Macta. It's been them defending.
That would have been around where the aggression would have been taken to Macta. That aggressive push from Emzen. Look at his corpse there right outside of the smoke. That was super aggressive. And Double Q getting aggressive himself, but might as well when you're the last man standing.
That is true.
4 back the other direction. And looking much tighter than maybe a lot of people would have expected to this point. If Macta can pull this round out and go 5-4 on the attacking side, that would be huge as they move into their defensive side.
Absolutely.
SV going to do whatever they can to stop that. And it does look like, again, we saw this work out for them so well, where 18's going to go ahead and take that long A control. And he's actually being backed up by N9, I believe. Yeah, and that's a scary combo to let get going. But it does look like N9, feeling that there's not much pressure there, going to rotate back into a more easily rotatable position. Ooh, that is a mouthful. And a little different look here at the box hold. Instead of Double Q holding at that front box, he's actually going to be holding at the larger box back there. And we'll have to see how this plays out, as yet to turn the corner here is Macta. But it's going to be a hard corner to take there for Revenge, as not going to be the easiest kill to make onto those targets on the boxes. But W just barely escapes the scope there of Revenge. Could have gone very poorly for him, as some grenade's going to come out. And it did look like maybe that one might tag Revenge, but it wasn't to be.
Battle going along A here. Looks like 18 not really getting lit up here, but he is noticing one of Revenge. What a huge pick on the Anke there. Wow. Peaky, such a brazen peak too.
Such a hard shot as well. You don't know if he's top or bottom.
True. And he just peeks out there and quick scopes him most likely.
Yeah, it had to be a quick scope. You don't have time to line that bad boy up.
And that's a vital pick in the last pick, or last round of the half. And wow, ZDD here, hearing him rotate off. What was that? Yeah, that is ZDD, and this is huge from ZDD. He played the rotationary spot so well there, and that is exactly what is winning them this round. They're now in a 2v1.
That being said, 18 left alive with the chance to clutch it out. He's been so impressive here for SV, but a lot of it's been when his opponents aren't really aware of where he's coming from, and it does seem like they have a pretty good idea of what he's going to be coming, what the look's going to be like here from 18 as they do watch the double doors, and a great closeout there by ZDD. ZDD going to give Macta
MVP of that round.
Yeah.
Won them that vital last 5th round that they needed. What he was doing was he's sitting there at the doors waiting to hear the mid guy rotate off somewhere. As soon as he heard him running to B, he ran out middle. He didn't catch him off guard there because the mid guy was gone, but he got in a good spot, killed Imzen, clutched it out.
And you have to say one of the greatest things about the changes that have come for Macta is that it's less and less about revenge.
That is true.
It's not that he's not doing his job.
They're all doing their job now.
Right. They don't live and die by revenge anymore. And that, I mean, that's for how long has that been the story of Macta? That if revenge does well, they do well. If revenge doesn't do well, then they don't do well.
And what a have to have so far to start out 5-4 against SV. The Imzen, though, with a huge kill already on card. That was a little mistake there, getting caught out somehow.
Yeah, I'm not sure what angle he took that from as an interesting place to go down. Go ahead.
He was trying to cross to the B connector. He just had an unfortunate spawn because Imzen got the closest spawn to be able to check that. That's why.
Well, that will happen, and it's going to give SV around a man advantage here. And Revenge going to even it up, though, with one onto Emzen. And just like we were saying, you know, he's doing his job, but it's not always about Revenge here. Maybe he can pick up a round for himself, and it's such a huge kill to even out the man advantage, as it can be so hard to hold a big map like Black Widow with 4 people.
And I like this play here from SV. They know they got to pick onto Long here, so most likely the A is going to be weak. Now, Pacific Macta does have 2 on it, so it might be a little unfortunate here for SV if they can hold this well. It is a good decision by SV, and here we go, 1 pick. Onto my monitor turned off.
At zero flash there onto him, but ZDD not quite able to do as much work as you might hope. And actually, it's Anka getting pick up a huge one there, but they're not expecting ZYK to come from the same location. It's going to be a straight-up duel, and it is Anka who wins it there over ZYK. I mean, You can only do the 2v1 so many times, ZYK. You definitely can forgive him for the
one time it doesn't work out for him. Yeah.
I mean, a 66% chance there is already really good for 2v1 clutches. So if you can hold on to that, I mean, nobody's going to complain about that ratio, especially against the likes of SV.
Oh, for sure. Getting one 1v2 against them is already more than what 99% of players can even claim.
And maybe what the worry was for Macta might be coming a little bit to fruition, as Anka has 3 early on here. And that could be a big issue, as it's really been him the only one who hasn't been performing necessarily to the level that you would want for SV this tournament. And if he gets going, Ems is already going, SV could look really dangerous down the stretch here on Black Widow. But a very calm round here out early, about 1:30 left in the round. The bomb is sitting here in mid, but a nice spread here from SV. Something that we've seen a lot from them.
This could be dangerous for Cart here if he. Oh, it doesn't look like he's barely out of view there. And we'll see this cat hold by ZDD here. ZDD gets one trade, 2 for 2 trade. Not too bad there. It's not as bad as it could have been. We got a 3v3 here with cat control, and it looks like A long control. So they're definitely going to be going toward A here.
If there wasn't only 1 minute left in the round, I would really like to see SV reset, as they don't really have too much information on the rest of the other members. But they've only got 45 seconds to work with, which they could make a rotation if they wanted, but they would have to be decisive about it, and it would be their final rotation. So they're going to go ahead and actually stick here on this cat push. And again, it's still worrisome
CYK,
here.
This is perfect for him. He's going to hear them rotating off. Hopefully he doesn't peek too soon and run into the crosshairs of WQ. But no, it's not. He's going to get a perfect flank here. But WQ still might catch him off guard as WQ comes up B long.
WQ, that rear guard is
he's not looking. Oh, but CYK turns around as a B hopping backwards, trying to keep his B hop going. He doesn't make noise. It's just unfortunate for him as Imzen takes out another. Just up to revenge here, 1v3. He tries to go savage mode, but it doesn't quite work out for him.
Yeah, 3 kills on that round for Emzen, I do believe. And that's going to put SV into their first lead in a good long while since very early on in the match. And Macta.
Key to point out right now, though, in 9, still sitting on 0-2, and Anka is stepping up this half.
Yeah,
and Aldrin also on 0-2 as well. So those are the players you're really looking at to really clinch us out for their teams. You got to see them step up.
But also, by that same token, it's good to see players like, ZYK, who and Cart maybe starting to get into the action along with Anka and Emzen, which is so strange to say that, he was kind of someone we wanted to see play a little bit better, just individually.
That is for sure.
But it is great to see that everybody's starting to get into it, as N9, I'm sure, N9 and Aldrin, they're only going to not frag for so long, so I'm sure we'll see them creep up that scoreboard as they do head out onto Cat here. SV not finding much yet, and this could get awkward as
they've got to hit this first shot. Go by Revenge. 2 by Revenge. He can definitely get more right here. He's in a great spot. Anka definitely dead. Yeah, there's no way he could do that in the flank here. 4K from Revenge. This is what we like to see from him. Flashy frags. Carrying his team here in this round, but can they finish Imzen off? The captain, the smart player from SV.
If he knows that they're tagged that heavily, I'd like to see him switch for that AK that's right there in front of him. But he's going to take one shot at it, not going to find it. Oh, there it is. He finally finds Cart, but Cart is not Revenge.
They may not know that Revenge is lit. So Revenge definitely has a huge chance here to clean this up. And there we go, Revenge coming out with a 5K. The second 5K coming against SV, no less.
Yeah, no kidding. Great round there out of Revenge. And you have to say, we haven't seen nearly as many of those as we're used to from Revenge, those kinds of huge multi-kills. And it's great to see that he can still do that for his team, and it's going to become so important here down the stretch against a team like SV. If he can start really pulling out these big plays that we've known him for so long, it can really give them the advantage here as we close down on the end of this second half. So tight here, 6-6, and SV on the attack. Going to need to keep the pressure up here.
Such exciting plays coming in here from both teams. I'm just in awe, though. Revenge playing that train to perfection. And W and 18 both starting off this round hot, and 9 as well. This is horrible for Macta. Getting cleaned up so quickly. 4 down. Looks like it's going to be a pretty clean round here coming from SV, as long as Aldrin doesn't go crazy. And it looks like he was almost. He was right there. He was about to go crazy. He was on the
I mean, it's such a huge ask when they're all on above 50% HP. I mean, even all above 75% HP.
Yeah.
So
that would have been absolutely bonkers if he pulled that off.
Yeah, right. Revenge's play would look like child's play at that point. That being said, it will put SV back into the lead by 1 point, and we're getting really, really tight down the stretch. And I think something you brought up in our last match with TGF and Boss is, does Macta really want to take this to overtime against SV?
No, 100% no. Of all teams, I could see Macta winning overtime against TGF. If they were playing this way right here, they could win overtime versus TGF. But against SV, you don't want to go up against them. They're cold. They're cool, calm, collected, always. Cold-blooded.
That being said, I mean, look at all the experience you have on this Macta team.
That is true, but how much more experience do you have on SV?
I mean, they're
champions. Has Macta ever been a champion?
You know? No, that's true. That's true, but they've certainly been on the stage plenty.
That is for sure.
And Emzen going to poke around towards this cat area. He's really been playing well, and it looks like we might have a straight-up duel here with Revenge and Emzen, who have both really been stepping up more than we've seen for their teams today.
And they've been going back and forth on each other. It's actually pretty even between the two on duels. Revenge, he's won 4 out of 7.
Well, there you go. And still super, you could just feel the tension building with how close everybody is, especially on that cat area, perhaps going to get shot from below. And it does look like Cart got a little bit of tag through the bridge there, and grenade going to come out and hit huge there onto Emzen and 18. But back out we go, and oh no, Aldrin thought he had the flank, but he just picked just the wrong time as they had backed out. And that's just a little bit of unfortunate timing for him, but going to put a man advantage here, but easily traded out there by Cart. Well done. And now he'd have to give the advantage there as ZYK kills out the low health member of 18. And
they definitely could retake this. It just depends on their strategy here. Looks like they're opting for 2 on the flank. They have to take out Anke without losing a member. If they're going to go on the flank right now, they cannot lose somebody. And they're battling back and forth here, but they're not taking it out soon enough. It's now 2v3 though. It definitely possible. Now it should be in the hands of Macta. They should not lose this round. And there they go. They clean out N9 just like that.
I was about to say N9 on the point though, and that could be scary with such little time left on that bomb ticking down.
But I would say the thing is right now that N9, he hasn't even gotten going in this match so far. He's been getting shut down pretty hard. So at that point, yeah.
It's good to see from Macta, as it's definitely an important thing to stop, is that N9 factor of SV. One of the reasons why, even if you try and match them in every other metric, sometimes they're just going to beat you off the back of plays from the likes of N9 and 18, but it's looked the same here for Macta. I mean, we've seen rounds won off the back of ZYK, ZDD, and Revenge.
That is 100% true. And Cart, I don't know if you mentioned Cart, but yeah, there's 1 or 2 rounds went off for him as well, but this round, he gets picked first.
Boldly pushing to the smoke in mid, gonna actually end up devastating there as a great crossfire set up there. I mean, people going down in those doors, lots of bodies down in the doors, as well as one there on the B site. So Emzen with the bomb and an AK in hand, but with all this noise he's making without taking down Revenge, you gotta assume that he's dead here to the right.
They should definitely close out on him. Yeah, they just got to make sure they play this careful, because you know how Emzen plays. He's always good in every single scenario, so you don't want to give him any openings. Boy, they almost did. That was close right there. ZDD, though, quick on the trigger, quick on the flick.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to give a cerebral player like Emzen a chance to play his way out of a situation like that. And it is going to be... I feel like we just really, even in the slightly slower rounds, it just feels like we haven't gotten a chance to breathe in this matchup as it's been so tight all the way. And Macta, again, out to a 1-point lead. The lead keeps trading back and forth, 1 point here, 1 point there, tie it up. And it's going to be huge here. So huge if Macta can pick up this round and put SV onto game point.
How many times have SV been going cat here? And it really hasn't seemed to be working out for him that well. In Revenge, he's posted up on it, but let's see if, unlike TF, he can actually perform at this, and he misses his first shot. He gets in 9, though. He get the double. Is this going to be a repeat of last time? Triple! Revenge is just popping off single-handedly. 4 again from Revenge. Insane gameplay from this man right here. 5K in the half with an ultra kill onto SV, and then guess what? A couple of rounds later, 4K from the same site.
14 here in the second half.
Single-handedly carrying his team.
And that's the X factor, right? We haven't seen it yet, and we started to talk about how it's nice that it's not all about him, but when he goes out there and does that for you, that's just bonus. When that becomes bonus instead of the core strat for the team, look how much better it is as it puts Macta onto game point.
They're winning versus SV. They are on game point versus SV. If they don't let this get to their head, if the best thing they can do right now is just not look at the scoreboard and play it like it's any other round. And if they can close this out, this is absolutely huge. This will be the first map that SV has lost in international play in a year and a half.
Yeah, even
in international play,
even in China versus China matchups.
Yeah, they've lost one map, right, in China matchups in the last year or so. They lost against AG, the first match of CFPL season 10, and I think one map dropped to HG and WCA last year, and that is it.
Yeah, and that's quite an impressive thing to say. I know that in the regular season they did lose that map there to AG. Day one, they went to a best of 3. They went to all 3 games, and it was SV who closed it out. So, I mean, even if they did, it just feels like it's been forever since SV lost. And Emzin down to low HP, 18 dead.
If they don't want to lose this right here, N9 needs to step up right now. But ZDD already starting it out huge. It's 5v3. N9 needs to pop off right here. Show why he is considered the best player in the world. This is his chance. There he goes. He's starting off 1 pick onto Aldrin. That's one player who's been taking him out multiple times this game. Let's see what else he can do here.
Check his blind spot, and he does. And it's another one there for N9, but he's going to get traded out. And it's fine if you trade slowly here because you still got man advantage. Bomb going to be picked up as well as an AK here for Emzin, but he's on such low HP. It's 5 HP. The man, the myth, the legend, Emzin.
And it's map 1 win. That is absolutely insane from Macta there. Whew. And what a way to win.
Insane. And you have to say, if Macta wants to win against SV,
they needed map 1.
They need map 1.
100%. If they did not win map 1, no chance. No lie, no chance. Because Port is up next. This is going to be a hard-fought battle for them.
I think Port Macta needs to relax and say, look, I think we might lose Port.
Yeah.
I think we might lose Port, but don't let it get to you. Just keep in mind we beat them on Black Widow already.
You know, if Revenge keeps this up though, they might be able to take Port. But all I gotta say is just some little things right here that I want to point out. One thing.
Good.
In 9, only 8 frags on the entire match. And that is abnormal for him. 8 frags abnormal for a player.
Right.
That's insane. But like, he was, I think, 4 and 6 first half, and then he only had 5 kills second half. So 9 kills actually. He needs to step up if SV is going to come out.
Yeah, it's certainly something to keep our eye on. But I really think so. We go after Port. We have Ankara, right?
Yeah, definitely a much better chance on Ankara than Port.
But still scary, right?
Yeah.
I think. Oh man. I think you just have to relax and say, look, guys, we're gonna, don't get me wrong, we're gonna play as hard as we can on this Port map. But if we lose it, don't freak out. SV's Port is the best in the world. Just don't freak out. We got Ankara. Ankara's our goal. If we win Port, then great, fantastic. We're done 2-0, baby. Let's go. But Ankara's the goal, I think.
For sure.
And I think that's the kind of talk that you can have with such an experienced team like Macta.
Yeah. And I mean, if I'm Macta right now, I'm obviously looking to win 2-0. You know, they're hyped right now.
I think that hype is dangerous.
Oh, for sure, because it can also, if you're up this high on in your in your emotions, and if something takes it down, boom,
that fall
it's gonna fall
just
even
as hard.
lower. Yeah.
So I really want to see, ZDD bring the team together and say, guys, calm it down. Everybody's got to bring it back down. We got to get together and we got to take this one step at a time, one round at a time. The first step is done, but you can't get complacent. You got to stay on track. Oh man, but I'm so excited now.
Insane from Revenge.
I said
2 ultra kills. Only Anka has done that, and he did it in 2 different halves.
Yeah. And I said the train may have derailed a bit, but let me tell you, it is right back on track. The hype train is real again here for Macta.
PogChamp.
But they're going to have to go up on port next against SV for map 2. We're going to have to find out how that turns out after this break. Welcome back here to the Crossfire Global Invitational. If you stayed up and your friends went to sleep, wake them back up because Macta is ahead 1-0 against SV.
I'm speechless.
Woo! Let's go. I mean, it's not that I don't like the members of SV, but it's time.
It's about time.
It's time.
Somebody needed to take a map off them, and funnily enough, it's not a Chinese team.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk?
I mean, maybe you would have thought there's a possibility before Macta loses to TGF in the group stages, but then once that happens, you're like, oh no, well maybe they're not as good as maybe we think. But
what they were doing is they were hoping to face SV. They were hiding the strats.
Exactly. Revenge was sandbagging.
He was like, we don't want to just beat TGF. Number 2? Who are they? Number 2? Nah.
And I caught 70kg in the hallway, and we were talking about the 4K, 5K from Revenge, but he had 2 4Ks and a 5K. All within a couple rounds there.
It was 3 rounds. It was, I think the 4K the round before is what he said.
He said when it was 7-8.
Ah, okay, so it was 4K. That'd make it 1 round before.
Yeah.
And then he got an ultra kill 5K the round after. I'm just choking on myself.
And then immediately, followed with another 4K.
And then two rounds later, another 4K. Just insane. Absolutely. The precision this man has, because it's not just, scoping in, waiting, shooting. No, he's doing a little bit of everything. He's had quick scopes. He's had flick shots in those combos, and he's had pre-scopes.
Yeah, and you definitely say you had to think, I mean, we didn't even really hark on it that much, but that Revenge had perhaps been underperforming. It was more that we just had attributed it to the team's success. But if Revenge can keep up this kind of play, then oh my goodness, it could be scary for SV moving even on port.
Yeah, and I must mention, as I was telling you earlier, it is going to be a lot harder for Revenge to make the kind of impact and impose his will onto SV as he did on Black Widow in port. It's a lot more close range of a map, and if they just avoid A site, if that's what he's guarding, which, as you noticed when they did play port, he doesn't guard A site. But typical sniper,
it's not his style.
If they just avoid him somehow, which is a lot easier on this map, then they could come out clean.
Yeah, I think I don't think Revenge is quite patient enough to play that A side alone as the opera. It takes a lot of patience and waiting around. He's excited for it now, though. I'm sure Macta feeling it.
Bouncing. He's got the energy. He's got the adrenaline pumping. And that definitely helps snipers out. Maybe with riflers, the adrenaline may make your aim a little shaky. But with snipers, that adrenaline makes you so quick. You just react so fast.
As he prays to God there before we get into this next one.
An SV answer.
We'll have to see, as SV's port is a whole different beast from their Black Widow. Let's see what Macta can do. Trying to take it 2-0, or will SV bounce back? Ooh, and for those of you watching with us live, I'm sure you guys are hyped. And if you're watching this after the fact, oh man, this could get exciting. As ZYK with an op in his hands, going the double op setup here on the offense. We'll see if that actually holds here for ZYK, or if he's just expecting a rush there, and he does immediately swap that out for the AK. And that's going to go well here for them as a very tentative start.
Just look at the way SV's playing right now. Yeah, I think they played this a lot. They played in a similar way in their port in the past, but they're playing pretty reserved right now, not really going for picks, not wanting to peek too wide, not giving Revenge those free kills.
Yeah, I definitely think you can read a lot off of their port, how they're planning to play, by where N9 and 18 are. N9 playing on that B site, which is usually where they put him when they're playing a little bit more defensively, and 18 in the mid, which, if you want 18 in the mid, if he's going to be playing solo, not in that pair of N9 and 18, you want him watching that mid, as it's so much easier to roam from that position. What's the smoke going to do here for? Oh, well, no time to talk about it. There's Macta's going for this.
Already rotated. This could be bad for Macta. This could be really bad for Macta. And it's already 0 for 2 and 0 for 3. Not in their favor. And they just got cleaned up. Absolutely destroyed.
It seems like that smoke came a bit early.
Yeah, I was about to say that. The rotations were so fast. If they just gone for a pick there, maybe tried to pick Imzen off a top, that could have worked out for them maybe.
Well,
but
I was going to... That smoke that they put down, right, it cuts off that mid angle.
yes.
But it didn't... It came before they actually started the execute.
That was a huge problem there for them. Maybe they were hoping that SV would be like, okay, maybe this is a fake. We're not going to rotate too quick. But the thing was, if you're going to throw that smoke and throw it earlier than your push, you should throw it right when you're pushing, for one. But two, you got to have people in AC.
Yeah.
You have to have people already halfway up, ready to just burst onto that site before the rotations can really, truly happen. And they didn't.
And in fact, it had such a pause that I was about to ask you what the thought process was behind the smoke, and then they started to come out onto it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Maybe a little bit of the jitters here coming out of that first match. But we'll look to see Macta shake that off as they go down 1-0 early here on Port.
And you know, what I think about SV right now, the way they're playing, they're really wanting Macta. They're saying to Macta, okay, you think you beat us on one map, good for you. But can you just come and take it to us? We're not going to give you free picks right now. We're playing back in sites. You're going to have to take these sites from us. Let's see if you can do that.
And no better map to do that on than Port. And 18 sitting here dangerously close. Danger close with Cart. Gonna go turn that full auto. 1 kill apiece there as
Team Ace.
Famous points out to me that last round was in fact a team ace. And that's always a good way to start it off. A nice little smoke there. Gonna try and slow down any possible B play here from Macta as that corner is already dangerous enough without charging through a smoke. And CYK gonna kill. Critical equipment and first kill gonna come here to Anka. And trying to give a bit of life here to this SV team as they're gonna want to try and close this out convincingly. It's gonna be Emza with a pistol kill there. And back and forth we go, but all of a sudden it's only Revenge alive. Lots of low tags. And we've seen plenty of big time kills there for Revenge, but that one would have taken the cake.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But a really unlikely scenario that would have been. And Macta, they really got to find an answer for this way that SV is playing. Right now, by the looks of it, from my point of view, of course, they can't see exactly what I'm seeing, but a mid strategy, something, maybe splitting A, splitting B, something, or even better, a fake, because SV, they rotated to A so quick. So maybe if they even just simply throw that smoke and have one person in AC or something like that, and then take B, it could work out for them.
And just continuing on the point you made earlier, look at this kill score here for SV. Only Emzen with 3 to his name, almost a back-to-back team ace there, and another confident round win there for them. That being said, there's still plenty of time to work here on the attack, as you only need a couple rounds here. SV can feel comfortable, though, with 2 clean rounds on the board as we look at how they've fanned out across the map.
And WQ, he might run into the crosshairs of Revenge here, but he looks like he's holding back. He's not really wanting to peek this mid at all. And I don't want to see this from Macta here, where they fall back on the whole let Revenge just sit back and get a pick, or let's sit back and let Revenge get a pick kind of deal. Because, see, it's not going to work out for them. They can't just send him alone by himself. He's got to be playing with the team.
He did have Altrin in tow, but a lovely flash really caught out exactly where Revenge was playing. And this looking like it could be in the advantage of SV, but far from over it is, as it is still that 3v4 here. But Emzen going to pick one up on the ZDD, and 18 going to pick up another. And it's looking all but over here, looking like SV going to go 3-0 early up here on Port. And I'm not going to say it's time to get worried for Macta.
It's looked way too clean. I'm going to say it. It's looked way too clean for Macta. Way too clean for SV. Macta need to find the answer. They need to do something. They need to fake. They need to do just anything. Mid-split. A full B rush. Just anything different other than what they're doing now. They can't do this thing where they let Revenge work by himself on a map like Port.
That,
especially.
As well as the scarier things might be that, I mean, there's 3 members of SV that are deathless at this point?
Yeah. Only 3 kills have gone over to
Yep.
P?
Only
Macta?
double Q
Yeah.
dying twice and 9 dying once. Everyone else
Double Q
without a
throwing.
death.
Double Q's trying to throw here.
Yep. That's all you can say. That's a hard throw there. And 9 going to go down. See, it's going to keep 9 throwing as continued. Look at that double kill from 18. Anka going to get another one. Finally, 18 goes down. But W going to pick up another. And again, it's just looking like a bit of a whitewash here so far for SV. And looking to try and go up 4-0. And again, I think Macta need to calm down and remember that even if it goes really terribly here for them, just for the rest of the match, even if it's 10-0, they still have a chance. Port is SV's best map,
100%.
hands down.
But on the other side of the coin, just of what, okay, earlier I said Macta can't see what I see, so, maybe they don't think of the strategy that I'm thinking of. But at the same time, they got to notice how fast the rotations are happening here. Maybe don't send all 5 of your members somewhere and hit it. Maybe have a
Go
lurker
for
somewhere.
some kind of split.
Maybe have one sit in AC while the rest do their beefing. Just anything different.
Or try some sort of fake towards B and burst through mid, try and catch people on those quick rotations. Something different as this round not looking too much different. Possibly going to be a clean round here for SV, looking to get that perfect. We've yet to see, I don't know if we've seen a perfect yet, but I mean, how many rounds has it been now that 4 or 5 are still alive?
Yeah.
And the bomb is down. Cart's in a 1v5 situation, and it's not like any of them are even tagged with any damage. And yeah, it is going to be a perfect round there for them. About as clean as you can be for SV.
So how about this? If they're not going to run any of the strategy in accordance to how SV is playing, at least slow it down. Yeah, SV is not peeking you and being aggressive on you, but slow it down, try to calm down yourself instead of doing what they're doing right now and just going for aggressiveness at the beginning of every round. Maybe just try to think of it.
Yeah,
they do get an early pick, though. So this is good. This is the best start they've had. Even a 1-for-1 trade is the best start they've had so far.
But look how quick the reactions are here from SV. 8 and 9 is already so deep now towards this B side that Macta's lost basically half of the map to work with without running into N9 in a completely unexpected position. And in fact, 18 going to be a trade kill there. And now Anka, here comes N9. Yeah, and he's put himself in such a good spot. He will take down Revenge, and he'll get out for free. And so much information gained, as I think he did even get a glimpse there of these two members coming back across. Aldrin and ZYK going to be up against it here, trying to work back towards that bomb before they can get anything else started. And Anka lying in wait from a position that we saw OPK use so well in the group stages. We'll see if he can do it himself. Anka really stepping up here for them in this second map. I mean, pretty much everybody looking good here for SV early. A nice kill there for Anka. Is going to get traded out, but the collapse should be in full effect. He definitely saw the head of Double Q unless he just completely somehow missed it, and it does look like he did. Perfect knowledge helping us out there a little bit, but pretty rare to see a pro player just completely miss a head like that jumping across.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe it's just a bit of the, he was looking at his mini-map, just checking to see where his teammates died or something like that as WQ takes him out. Who knows?
Certainly didn't catch it out of his periphery, and going to end up being a pretty easy kill there for WQ, and 6-0 now. Macta going down 6-0 against SV.
They need these last 3 rounds. This is must win. If they want to take this map, must win. And if they want any confidence going into the next map, they have to win at least 2 of these rounds and then a couple rounds in the next half, even if they lose.
I think if it gets to something like 8-0 or even like 8-1 in the first towards that, you just throw it away. Just go ahead.
Put it out of your mind.
Go ahead. Just go ahead and let them sweep the round 10-0. Doesn't matter. I don't care. And just I want to get back out of this. Let me out.
Their map choice. They win.
Right. Let me out. I want to go talk to my coaches. I want to get this match past me as soon as possible so that we can move on and start focusing on our next map. You know, or even just play as many rounds as you can. But
great pick on him.
Yeah, indeed. And 18. Oh, almost got a really nice position there as he jumped out. And Anka just starting to pop off here for himself. He's got 8 kills already in this first half, and he's looking for more. He does get that final one there onto Aldrin, and Anka starting to pop off here for SV, and that's dangerous news here for them.
But I must mention it, Aldrin, man, where have you been? You got to show up, even if you're gonna take this L here. You got to at least show up and get started, because last map you only had 7 kills in 18 rounds. N9 had 9 kills in 18 rounds, but look, he's at least 4-2 now. N9's not showing up too much either, but Aldrin, you're losing.
I mean, even if you don't just look at them right there next to each other, 0-7.
Yeah, Cart too.
For both Aldrin and Cart. And that's, you talk about even if we do just want to put it out of our minds and keep moving, that's going to probably stick with those two players that they can't find a single kill in 7 rounds. It's going to haunt them if they can't try and pull it back here a little bit and start to feel that confidence again. But
what
again, Aldrin going to go 0-8.
Yeah, what a shot by Imzen as well. Not much he could have done there.
And does look like we might see an execute here onto Anka. He's holding this top area by himself with that AK, which can be so hard, but he's found one. He's dropped off the side and found ZDD unaware. He does get traded out by Revenge, but still, this attack completely stuffed. And N9 could get seen out here. Great play here by ZYK. You have to say the one shining light so far, or I guess 2 shining lights, has been Revenge and ZYK. But Cart and Aldrin really just dragging them down so far. But it's not even that simple, because it just seems much more to be a team issue so far on this board.
100%. Like I was mentioning earlier, it's just they're not noticing how SV is playing. You have to react, because as I said before in the past match, whenever you're playing against Chinese teams, you have to be super flexible. You have to react and play in accordance, to how they're changing things up as well. And that's just not happening here from Macta. They're trying to do different things, but they're not doing it in accordance to what SV is doing. They're just changing it up to change it up.
That's a very good way of putting it. If you think they're really changing it in a way that's going to work, it certainly hasn't, because it's 8-0, and finally, Macta going to get a little bit of an opportunity to go into 0-9. And some of it is that's back-to-back where we've seen him have chances to hit his shots, and he just doesn't hit them. But ZYK has continued to do so for his team, as has Revenge. Just ZYK trying to put the team on his back, but they should be able to pick up the C4. Oh, actually, that's going to be a lot easier said than done, as you're going to have to expect Emzen there, and it is Emzen who takes down ZYK. And Revenge puts himself in the 1v2. Oh, he had a shot at it, and he's missed it. Oh, that's going to be so rough there for him.
But he doesn't really see where Revenge is. Now he does. So it's going to be a matter of who can hit the shot first. And Imzen still doesn't really have a clue where Revenge is. And Revenge takes him out. That's exactly what you need here. Get it down to a 1v1. Get this last round for your team. At least get some confidence going. Even if you're likely going to lose this map, get a couple of rounds going in the next half. Get that confidence flowing. Get some motivation into your team.
That being said,
up against N9.
Up against N9.
Even though N9 hasn't really been going hard at all this game, still N9, and there you go. 9-0. What a response by SV.
I mean, N9's that kind of player that he could be having the kind of performance that Aldrin is. But if he's the last man standing, he somehow finds the next gear. He's just that clutch player.
At least they're laughing. At least they're not taking it so hard where they're just sullen and just chilling there. Look at them. They're all laughing. This is the best way they can probably take it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. We saw them giving
Revenge
talking a bunch of smack to him.
Yeah. For going 1-9.
So he gets to turn it around back at them, right? And ZYK gets to laugh because he's the only one trying to carry this team right now.
Him and Revenge sitting at, I think, 6 and 7 frags, but yet not even one single round win in their favor.
Yeah, and I think, if you're gonna go down, just get it out of the way. It's fine.
Use it as aim practice or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Or even just as you're working on your aim, start discussing about what the strat is on on Ankara because it's SV who doesn't have time to slow down and think about it. They have to close it out. They only need one round though, and it's not going to be this one as ZYK is just murdering them. Here
That's what you need right there.
And Revenge going to pick up one for himself. Does it really surprise anybody that those are two people getting kills? I mean, that's all it's
They're going to clean it up too. An ace in between them. The bro ace, the pro ace.
And again, more smiles coming out. Always great to see in a situation like this where you go down 9-0 in the first half.
That's pretty harsh.
Whew. Thank goodness this is the second game. Otherwise, I would not have been nearly as ready for game one. I've been like, well,
I think pretty much the
I guess
viewers
we're about ready to get out of here, huh?
Yeah, the viewers would have been tuning out as well. No point in watching this. But there is a point in staying for Ankara. Like we said before, Port even started.
Far from over.
Port is SV's map. They're the best in the world on it. And we even mentioned that it's going to be really hard for PM Pacific Macta to even have a chance on it. And guess what? It's exactly true. But Ankara is a different story.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that, and it really does seem like they know that, right? I think there's so many teams that even if you know that, that you're not going to be taking it the same lighthearted, happy way, joining as a team and being positive and trying to be positive and look forward to the next match because it's basically SV. All they need to do is just 5-man stack onto a site every time, and eventually it's going to work.
Look at that right there. You guys pay attention. I've mentioned this so many times during this. That if we're going to play the pit strategy, the only two things you can do is rush pit exactly how SV just did, just instantly, right off the bat. You see them dropping, get right in there before the rotations can happen, take them out. Or don't peek it at all. And that's what they did.
I mean, if you keep bringing up, if you're a team trying to learn Crossfire professionally, watching SV's port, their port is
insane on it. The rotations are perfect. Even if they over-rotate, they are so good at retaking sites that, okay, let's say you fake toward A and they over-rotate it. And then you go to take B site. What they're going to do is they're going to drop into the pit, delay for forever, and the rotations are going to get over there in time anyways. It's just if you want to watch them, if you want to learn how to play exactly what you said, watch SV.
It's just, and even beyond that, right, the fact that they play it so well, it's a map that just suits their team so well because they're a team that really is one of they snap into action whenever something happens on the map, and they're able to read out just by that one little bit of information, what exactly is going to happen next. And in a map like this where you can rotate so quickly, it exemplifies that great strength of theirs.
For sure.
That being said, we're still, it's 1-1 here. That may have been a 10-1.
I had a similar reaction the last game, but it was a different kind of, it was a wow. This time it's a, man, wow.
I mean,
that's tough.
I said it in
that's
the break.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
There's a reason why all the Chinese teams ban Port against SV.
And I think when when you were asking me what they should ban, I had mentioned Port is also a first ban. And against both Chinese teams, I mentioned that because they're nuts. I don't care if you are Pacific Macta.
I would much rather play SV on sub base than Port.
Yeah.
And I would rather play them on Mexico than Port for sure.
And a match like that makes it really hard to break down and just say what went wrong for Pacific Macta. I mean, I mentioned it a couple times during it. I guess I could mention those again. Just if you're into a situation like Macta was in, you need to read how the defense is playing. The defense is rotating so quick. And yes, the rotations are picture perfect pretty much. But you can still take advantage of the fact that they rotate so quick and have a lurker go behind them or fake out and go the other direction.
I mean, it was a team, it was clinical is really the main thing that you want to say about it. And it's not even like we can go out there and pick out, like if you had to pick an MVP of that round, like Revenge, hands down MVP for first map.
Oh, first map, yeah. But
map
second
2,
map, you can't.
But
everybody.
The team of SV got MVP.
Yeah, it was SVP.
Yeah, there you go.
Super Valiant player. But still, overall, they could have done. Macta definitely could have at least taken some rounds off them if they had just reacted accordingly. That's it. they could have taken at least a couple rounds. No joke. Even though they did get 9-0'd, they just did not react accordingly.
But we'll also have to just see how well can Macta bounce back.
Oh. How well can anybody bounce back from basically a 10-0? I mean, it was a 10-1, but basically a 10-0.
I think it's possible, right? I think it can be done. I don't think it's a big issue.
Well, even though the thing is, they're definitely have a chance on Ankara, but they're gonna have to do something that it's not impossible, but put a 10-0 out of your mind. I mean, they were laughing.
I think
that was good. That was a good sign.
And maybe I'm wrong. You're the pro here, but I think I would almost rather lose 10-0, 10-1. I think I'd rather lose 10-1 than maybe 10-5 and feel like we just got really outplayed.
I would rather lose 10-0 than 10-8.
Yeah.
That's because it's two different types of heartbreaking in a way.
One is
10-8 is like,
deflating.
man, I had that dude just this round or that round. We would have won if we did that. You get 10-0, you're like, well, on to the next map, I guess.
Right.
We got just absolutely rolled.
It's much easier to take it lightheartedly because it just keeps happening and you're like, okay. We can calm down a little bit here. It doesn't have to be so crazy. But yeah, it's certainly a little bit scary to think about though.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But it does sound like we are ready to head to a break before we get into our final map here. SV versus Macta. I'm nervous for both teams, really.
I'm more
but
nervous
mostly
for
Macta.
I want to see somebody take SV down.
I think everybody does. I mean, even Chinese fans are ready for it. But let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back after this. Welcome back here to the Crossfire Global Invitational. And holy Moses, have we got one building up for you here. And the pressure keeps mounting as it's a 10-8 round one, or map one win for
Tight one there for Pacific Macta.
followed by a 10-1 stomp fest by SV. On Black Widow, followed by Port.
This has happened so many times. Even in the best of one games, like I mentioned before, there's been so many starting out really tight, really close, and they just end in a stomp, and it looks like, oh, I guess it never really was that close. And then you have the last game between Boss and TGF started out super close, then get stomped. But luckily this time, Macta took the first map in the close match, so they have a chance to end that with another tight game.
And I think you have to give them some leeway because SV is on Port, and I don't think there's a Chinese team that sometimes even on their best day and a mediocre day from SV can take could even hope to take Port from them. So there are much worse things in the world to happen. This is what we said at the beginning of at the top of the cast, that it's if they have to win map one to have a chance.
Yeah,
and they did it. They won map one, so now they have a chance. You would have liked it for it to be closer, but now they've got a chance, and we're heading on to Ankara. Pacific Macta versus Super Valiant for the second spot in the finals. It all comes down to this. I think round one here, once we get into it, is going to be so important.
Yeah. In order even though they laughed the last one off, and that's all you can really do in response to a 10-0 or 10-1, even though they were lighthearted, they need this. They need this first round, and it looks like there's some sort of technical problem here.
It could have just been somebody falling out of lobby, as we've seen a couple times here. And we'll go ahead and assume until production tells us otherwise that it is just going to be a quick reset here, and we should hop right into game. It does seem that way, but the irony is that you would think that after losing game one, even after the 10-1, that SV would be feeling the pressure and they would be huddling up and really talking about how they're going to take this next map.
Yeah.
I saw them outside chilling. Just chilling.
Really?
Looking at their phones.
Oh, yeah. Even after the first map, you said?
After map 2.
Oh, after map 2. Okay, yeah. I mean, after map 2, of course, SV is feeling really comfortable after that. I didn't actually see them after map 1, so maybe they discussed a lot of things and then said, okay, Port, we just need to set the pace here. And then, we're probably going to win Port. Sorry, we're the best. Nobody can beat us on Port.
Right.
And then we can use that momentum and roll right into Ankara. But Revenge, though, he is on fire. So, Ankara, another map like Black Widow where a sniper can carry the game. If he still has a hot hand, even after the ice-cold SV rolled over him,
but you have to have your eyes on that man right there and Aldrin.
Yeah. Aldrin, this is vital for him. If he doesn't step up here, I'm not saying it's not obviously all on him, but if the team needs him. He is the dual king in the games before.
But both of them may very well have gone. I didn't quite see it at the end there, but they may very well have gone 0-10.
I didn't check that.
The one round
because ZYK and Revenge were the ones that
ZYK was close to.
They got a 3K and a 2K.
A 1.0 KDA, but the one round that they won,
3K,
it was
2K
3 and 2.
So I mean, may have been an 0-10. You're right. And that is detrimental to their psyche at this point.
But if they can do it in round one, if Aldrin and ZDD can get something on the board there for themselves, it could all change in an instant.
And something that hard and depressing that just happened in 0-10 or whatever, that may actually loosen him up. That may be what gets him started on the fragging. Just calm him down a bit. Nothing worse can happen than that, right?
Right. As well as just as a team thing, right? That once you win that first map, you have all this pressure stacking onto you, and then you drop that 110, and all of a sudden that pressure just fades away again, and you get to full reset and feel like underdogs again. Like we're just gonna go out there and play our game, have some fun, and get it and do what we can do.
No pressure anymore. At first, it was like, okay, they took map 1. They're looking like they can actually take SV out of this, and it was a lot of pressure going into map 2 for sure. Yeah, I can see exactly your point.
And it is interesting, Macta electing to go to the attack here, and this could be scary because if they can't get anything going early, then that it might start to creep in.
And SV, it looks like they're taking the same game plan from Port here, honestly, where it's just like, okay, you take it to us, we're not going to take it to you. They're not really taking map control anywhere, and as I say that, they probably are going to be collapsing on mid here, which is going to definitely take out player number 3, which is that's Cart right there. That would be unfortunate for him, seeing as his last game performance. Let's see what...
He is down in the pit there.
It might be a good spot for him.
Oh,
apparently not.
He's seen the weapon there around the corner, but traded immediately out, and big there for ZDD, as well as that will put him on the board. Cart, however, going to continue to not find any kills here, but of the two, if I had to get somebody back on track, it's definitely ZDD, who is more important to this team and their success.
I think he was pretty close up there before this final, or the semifinal, pretty close up there with Revenge and Frag, so you definitely want to see him fragging at least decently close to Revenge.
Right, even if it isn't as close, it's just that it was... the way he was playing was so impactful.
This is so bad. SV is reading them like a book here. Yes, they're going to pop. Nope, they're not even going to probably get on the site. Because Imzen, 18. Imzen again, just cleaning them up. And it's just like a first-round repeat of last time. But at the same time, it did look a little cleaner early on. So if they can just not get read by SV at one of these points, that would be the best scenario for them.
Right.
SV's reading them too hard right now.
You just really don't want to see this happen, where they just need one round Macta, and I think that they can really reset.
Okay,
that's
there we go. That's
Revenge.
Good. That is exactly what they needed there. They need Revenge to get going, especially on this map. And, of course, the others need to get going too, but at least get Revenge popping off again. Maybe he can drop 15 this half. And even if he's the only one fragging, they're going to at least get 4 rounds of that, maybe 5.
And... again, so important here to put a round on the board, Macta, after that last, if it's close there in that last one, or at least respectable, right? You don't really worry as much if they go down a couple rounds early. They can battle back. But the sooner that they get a round onto the board, I feel like the sooner the real match does begin. And
Revenge, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's looking for more there.
And he may be able to pick this up here, but a double Q with an intelligent peek there, just crouching like that. And it looks like the rotation is heading over here. They're gonna have to, Revenge picks him up, but they're going to have to deal with, looks like 18 is coming in, and 18 gets taken down by Revenge as well. Revenge coming up absolutely monstrous with a 4K to pick his team up around, basically solo carrying them in there.
Yeah, and it's what you need out of your star player in a situation like this where you're coming off of that devastating loss and you just need to get some kind of foothold into the game to stabilize and really start to move forward thinking that, this is something you can do and whatnot.
It's exactly right. You basically need Daddy Revenge to tell you, hey, everything's going to be okay, son. We can make it through this.
You just follow me.
We'll be all right.
Yeah. Okay, going to take one in the shoulder there, it looked like. And tinked down 267 HP. But he will get the information that there is at least one member of Macta playing over there towards that B site. But that it is exactly as much information as he will get. As, in fact, the majority of Macta is stacked up over here towards the A site. And creeping around. Revenge found one early on. It seems a bit predictable here. Ooh, and... they might have an idea there that Revenge might be looking for that same play. N9 in a good position to stop it. And he does go ahead and try and look for that peak, but...
good timing here by N9, though. He might be able to catch somebody off guard if they're not watching this vent. Not sure if they are. It looks like one maybe looking toward it, but he's up close and personal, and he does come out on top of that trade, but a one-for-one trade, which goes in the blacklist way.
Yeah, and even down to the amount of health everybody has, it's almost even with ZDD and Anka on even health. It's really, it might come down to which team can find that low health member first, and they might get a sizable advantage for themselves. The bomb, however, is in mid there, rotating towards. It does look through underpass there, and Emzen that's a big kill onto Revenge, as
Huge
it's really
kill.
been.
He's the only player really popping off for them right now. So that's exactly what was needed. And look what's happening afterwards. Just cleanup crew.
Yeah, and if you had to pick someone from the last round to be alive in the one before, it would definitely be ZYK. But you don't see many man down situations go very poorly for SV.
And I really don't like to harp on them or anything like that. But Carton and
ZDD.
no, Carton. Aldrin, yeah. Now 0-13 and 0-12 in the last 2 maps now.
Yeah, and that's
This map and that last map. But Card here, this is a chance to really come up big. And there he goes. He's now in CT. This is vital here because now what does SV do? They got to decide whether or not they're going to rotate or just let him sit there. And if they let him sit there, he's cutting them off. They can take whatever site they please now.
especially now being down 2 men. It's going to put Anka in such an awkward position. We'll see if he decides to try and make a big solo play, or if he decides to rejoin his team if he can here on the A site. And it does look like, oh, he might have caught somebody going through mid, and he's going to think better of it and try and join his team. That being said, Emzen getting super aggressive. Cart
in a great position here. Maybe he can collect.
Has an idea. It might be their great peak. Great peak.
So nice.
Is traded back out, but this is a round that Cart needed. Not the round that ZDD needed, as N9 get to pick up 2 now and start to ask some questions here with Anka. Anka gonna get a peek there under Revenge, but not before he takes out his buddy there in N9. What was that headshot, Anka? That is not something that should be done. That was completely unnecessary. No need to be doing that.
Okay, that was way closer than it needed to be, but hey, Aldrin and Cart both getting a kill in the round. Cart actually getting 2, but there we go.
I mean, that round was off of that play by Cart, really.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's going to do a whole bunch of confidence for himself, as he knows what he did. Even if nobody else really who saw it, he knows exactly how important that play was for him once he hops into that spawn. And so hopefully that can turn him around. And Aldrin, you know, as you said, getting kill on the board. And really, I think that's all Aldrin needs to get going, is just to start winning some duels. As you said, you know, dual king there for Macta. About to run into the dual king here for SV, and it's going to be N9 who comes out on top. ZDD going to trade out immediately, but Double Q going to get the better of ZYK. ZDD going to do the fancy reload there as he gets another double kill here for Double Q. And boom. Yeah, this is looking like a pretty clean round here. But no time to reload, as WQ coming up huge in that round. At least 3 to his name.
You know, the strategy is not that bad for Macta here. They're playing pretty well on the strategy side. They just really need to start connecting on their shots. And they need to get that first, okay, they really need to get that first kill. That's what they really need to do. Whenever they enter the site, they can't have N9, especially when they lost the last map in the same fashion that they did. They can't have N9 getting that first pick. They need to get that.
Oh, and Emzen just picking just the wrong time to look away from that position. But it's something that's interesting is, you know, we keep talking about about all of this from the Macta perspective, and there it is. And then take that Revenge. You can pick up another one on.
Oh, that was such a beautiful shot.
And it's really nice of him to do this to preface my argument for me, because look how important these operas have been so far early in this match. Emzen was on 6-2, now on 8-2, with Revenge on 7-5. It seems like if they're not going to get something started for either team, you know, it's really been decisive for them. I will say, now that it was just 3-2, it's now 4-2. It's not Macta not out of sight here from SV. You'd like to see them finish 5-4, especially on the attacking side of Ankara. But that being said, it just feels, just the way the game feels, it just feels like Macta's just barely hanging on.
Oh, 100%. One of the rounds was won solely because Revenge just walked around the map just like he's doing right there, just fragging everybody. And that's what Revenge needs to do right now in order to he needs to put his team on his back. And if he can get this pick right here, oh no, Imzen at A site this time, throwing a curveball at him and he kicks him off.
Cart with his grenade in hand manages to survive a whole heck of a lot of spray, but not the grenade of double Q. And a double Q for double Q. It's an old cliche because he's so good at finding them, but at least another 3 there for double Q. He's got 10 already on the round as we move into the final 2 rounds here. Macta needs to put both on the board and in some kind of convincing fashion before they move on to the defense.
And we haven't really been talking about double Q that much in this whole match, but this is the second half with double-digit frags from double Q. The first half, he put up, I think, 13 or 14. I think it was 13, and now here he is with 10 again. Coming up somehow quietly with the kills for the most part, but still coming up huge.
I mean, he's been cleaning out house over there on that A site. I do believe it is him holding it there solo this time around, as we do see Emzen up here in mid, and 18 going to be holding this corner we see so often. And, it is actually going to be N9 over there holding it by himself, but 18 in a good position. You have to see they didn't really check that corner as well as they could have, but it will be a huge triple kill there for Aldrin, and if he wakes up now, this could turn everything around here for Macta. Only N9 left alive, which is scary, but Revenge going to get the free backstab there. And huge round there from Aldrin, could play his way in. That being said, he's 7. That's 7 kills now for him.
That is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, Aldrin's really starting to wake up here. And that's exactly what Pacific Macta needs if they're going to stay in this. They're already struggling a little bit here on this in this blacklist side, whereas this map is a little black-sided as Imzen gets a quick pick onto ZBD that looks like there's going to be a slaughter here in mid so far. And just 3 down. CYK, the only one remaining here in mid. Can he pick up a frag?
It just feels such a battle here for Macta, but not so much the other way around. I mean, look at them battling back and putting themselves in a 2v3 situation as they pick up 1 apiece here, ZYK and Aldrin. But you just feel like, oh man, every time it's just holding on, putting themselves in this 2-on-3, and now they got to try and pull it out here to really keep themselves alive in this competition. They need this round so badly. ZYK and Aldrin going to need to clutch it out. That's a good way to start it, but he can't quite find the second one on the double Q.
Huge difference between 4-5 here and 6-3, especially on this map.
Yeah.
Going over the GR side against SV.
And we're going to need some magic. You got to think that it's got to be Cart and ZDD right now that are underperforming, especially Cart. It's fine. It's all fine and dandy if you're the new shot caller coming in for the team and you've improved all these strats. But when the money's on the line, if you can't hit some shots, then
what good are your strats? What good are your strats at that point?
Exactly. And hopefully we can see him play his way into this because they're going to need a big round on the defense for Macta. And Ankara, as you've said a bunch, is an offensive sided map, but in offensive sided maps, if I'm going to be down, I would rather be on the defense in an offensive sided map than vice versa.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So the hope is alive here for all you Macta fans and people who just want to see a new king crowned here for Crossfire. But SV looking stronger and stronger down the stretch here. And they're going to double Q quietly creeping in. Cart might have heard a couple of steps there. It didn't look like it was too obvious from either one. And they just, right here in the Mexican standoff, as they don't really know who's where, but they have an idea. And it's actually going to be Cart who finds it onto double Q. And that's big here, as 2 members now going to go down. 18 as well falling. while Revenge is traded out, that's going to put the 4-3 in advantage here for Macta as they stack up here. M's going to be the first one through, but it's going to be a ZDD with a double kill before N9 takes one down. He's got the 3-on-1. It wouldn't be his first. It won't be his last. But can he pull another 3v1 out here for himself? And that's one way to start it. Cart knowing exactly where he was, but N9's more accurate, it would seem, in that exact situation.
That wasn't even a bad play from Cart there.
No, definitely
He was
not.
so far away from his teammates, and he might catch N9 off guard there. So hopefully they play this 2v1 correctly, and it looks like they are playing together here. So this could work out.
Cart 100% got the jump there on him. He just couldn't hit the shot, and N9 showing us those reflexes. He does have vision on Aldrin. He's going to plant very smartly, I think. At least find some way of forcing them towards you. ZYK, though, good, big win there for them. And if they can string some rounds together here, I would love it if they could put 3 in a row here and tie SV at 6. If you can tie it before you get into the later stages and make SV start to sweat a little bit.
Oh, for sure. If it starts to get those close battles again because everybody's firing on all cylinders here for Macta, SV will definitely start to sweat. They are not used to losing. And after that first map where they lost in a similar fashion, they'll definitely start to doubt themselves a bit.
Yeah, it's going to creep in whether you like it or not.
But they got to stop this A push here. They cannot let SV get this
Oh,
round.
no,
And ZDD's looking the right way. It's just all over for this A site here. They're going to get the bomb plant. Now it's got to be a huge retake here. Somebody has to go huge.
Yeah, and you have to think that you'd like if they could get to it from a different angle. It just feels so low success rate when you retake from this one from spawn. It's so difficult, and that probably will signal the end of the round. I'm not sure why it was Revenge coming from that angle, unless it was Revenge with the AK in that situation. Just trying to be sneaky in the smoke, but 5 alive here.
I'd say about 50 HP from the truly perfect round there. Not a lot of damage even done by Macta in that round. Just that was a must-win round for them, and from here on out, they cannot let SV tie rounds together. They cannot.
Yeah, they're gonna have to take 2 to their 1 before it's all said and done if they want to win it. And perhaps they might force an overtime, but you definitely want to get it done here in regular time. He's gonna not make the hit shot there on Undin. He's picked up the AK for himself and has pinned ZYK down in this position as ZYK waiting for rotations to come across. And he has disappeared, but Aldrin, what are you doing there? If you know that Enzim's there.
Oh my goodness, Enzim. What a great play there by Enzim. Jesus, these shots he's hitting in N9 too. There you go. Wow. Just Enzim though. Like, what a play. Just walking straight up there like that. So ballsy.
Yeah, but ZYK saw him, and Aldrin showed his back straight to Enzim.
Don't even know what's happening there.
He was firing forward, so he must have seen somebody, but why are you in the position after ZYK calls out?
Maybe just miscommunication there.
Could be, but you'd have to say not something you want, not something you're gonna see if Macta's gonna beat SV. As another round slips away from them, and now it's 8-4. They're gonna have to put 5 rounds on the board before SV can get 2. And it's just getting harder and harder with every round loss they take. N9 poking around there with 18, the deadly duo that we've seen so often. Going to go at it together here on offense as they continue to stay together as they go through A connector towards this A site. Does look like we might see a vent push here from the three big AKers for the team. It will be N9 and 18 going to pick up kills to the 1 of ZDD. Nice flash they're going to make N9 rethink his decision to go up those stairs. But the flash is going to wear off as they do come around the corner here. Aldrin going to need to take one down, but he gets double kill here for Anka, and that's all she wrote. On to match point here for SV
And things are definitely looking dire here for Pacific Macta. It's going to be really hard to see how they can even come back from this. I mean, SV is just running on momentum here and just straight doing anything they want.
I mean, at this point, is there a way back in for Macta? You just kind of have
Honestly,
to
no.
run on adrenaline at this point, I guess, and just try and ignore everything. Go one round at a time. But it's Revenge, the person you would want maybe to jumpstart this team into what they would need as a 5-round streak start, getting going. But it doesn't look that way. It's going to be Aldrin picking up 2, but he's at low HP. He's going to go down to 18, and only Cart left alive to keep Macta's hopes for the tournaments. And there it is. It's Double Q, who really, MVP for that last map. But, whew, that was not. I don't know. I expected more. I expected more out of Macta on that last map. I thought they had a shot to bring it close here on Ankara. I mean, it was always going to be difficult, but I didn't foresee a 10-4.
I'm gonna claim it was that mentality from the last match. Even if you're laughing about the 10-0, it still is gonna affect you mentally. And yeah. I'm sorry, but it all boils down to Aldrin and Cart. They had to get started. You cannot be firing on 3 out of 5. Even if 3 out of 5 are going, you're not gonna beat SV on 3 out of 5.
And it wasn't even really 3 out of 5. I mean,
maybe 2.5 out of 5.
I mean, we saw so much out of ZDD and Aldrin.
I want to point this stat out real quick. When you got Revenge going this crazy, this man had 40 kills in 43 rounds of those maps right there. Almost 1 kill per round. This man is good for 1 kill every round. And you got blown out. 10-1, 10-4, and he's doing that. All you have to do is bring in maybe a kill every other round, and you can at least bring it close. I mean, you're not wrong.
I think they had 3 members for back-to-back 2 maps underperforming, and top of the list for biggest issue has to be Aldrin, and that's a statement to how well he's been playing.
Exactly. It's not a statement against how badly he played there, because it's hard to play well against SV. It's just if they wanted to win, Aldrin was their top fragger before this, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure he was the top fragger.
Yeah, I think it was either him.
Revenge was a little bit below him, like with 50-something, he had 60-something, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Either way, 1A and 1B was those 2 right there on the team. And yet, it didn't even look like he was a 1A or 1B. It looked like he was a 5C.
And then right below him, you had the kind of positional plays from ZDD, which we saw map 1.
We did, map 1, yeah, but that was it.
And then never again.
Lost his confidence or something is what I would say. Because those kind of plays take confidence. I'll tell you that from a player's perspective. If you don't realize it, it takes confidence to go out there and just be like, oh, I hear him rotating off. You know what? I'm just going to run on mid.
Yeah.
You got to have balls for that.
It certainly does, because if you're wrong, you're just going to get gunned down and out in open space, and you're going to look like an idiot.
And if throwing it back to another team, that would be reminiscent of Shady. And I'm not saying he looked like an idiot. I'm just saying Shady on Black Widow, whenever it was 8-8. And he just jumped into box room against that double stack on box room.
Yeah, if nobody's there.
Yeah, if nobody's there, you look smart. Maybe he heard somebody rotating off of B doors or something like that. You don't know what he heard. But in the end, because he died and he was wrong about his thought, he just looked kind of dumb.
Yeah, and just as we keep moving down the list here of Macta players, you have to say ZYK, who had been pretty solid for them.
He did very well.
He continued to be solid, but just that little bit under. ZYK was way up there for them.
Oh,
he looked like Aldrin did in every other match.
Yeah, and if they had Aldrin looking anything similar to that, they definitely would have had a chance to take it to SV for sure.
And this does show you what everyone has feared again, is the All-China final. But SV dropping a map to Macta and TGF looking really strong, especially behind Show B. This actually will turn into a much more interesting final than you might have expected.
Maybe so. I'm still gonna throw my vote in with SV. They have my favorite player, Sherba, 18. So I'm still gonna throw it in with them, but it's gonna be an interesting final for sure, with them showing some weakness finally and dropping a map.
Yeah, yeah. And if Shobi keeps popping off like this, don't put it past
I forgot
them.
about that. I mean, yes, I've said it before, TGF has their weaknesses right now, but they also have their insane strengths. You don't see anybody on SV, I mean, to a point, popping off like Shobi is, just solo.
Yeah.
Running out, being like, oh, pop,
1v5.
Gotcha, boy. Yeah, a little 4K here, a little flank there.
Somehow I expect we'll see a port ban.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean,
I don't think SV will get a chance to play port again in this tournament. It's a little bit scary.
but is it the best of 5 though?
Yes.
So it depends.
So
First pick is going to be port for SV.
oof. Well, we'll have to see how that goes. Maybe they'll want it later on, just in case. But we will be off for 2 days here for CF computer version.
By
But
the way-
tomorrow we have the mobile version.
I want to throw this out there real quick. MVP to me, for even though it's hard to mention who was the MVP for SV in the first map, even though they did take an L. Double Q was showing up, like I said, and we haven't really been mentioning him that much.
Yeah.
Double Q was showing up, popping off, had double-digit first half, and did well the second half. And then in the final deciding map, it wasn't only him popping off, but he popped off again. So I'll give him the MVP.
We'll have our final on Sunday at 2 p.m. for on the 6th here, Sunday. But tomorrow will be the mobile game tournament, the Asia Cup. So feel free to come back and join us for that tomorrow. But for today, that's going to do it for me, Steven, and Famous here in China.